Hello, kittens. Hopefully, you had a great weekend. So, we are starting and rolling it forward. So, what do we have today? We have Seven of Stones. We have Strength from vice versa. So, this is the one that has two sides, the right side or the wrong side. And look at what the difference this is, right? Like we see the woman with the lion taming a lion. But look what we see. It's coming toward him, devil himself. And then we have like these, the King of Cups. So it is really interesting that one day is going to create a really big journey. So starting with this Seven of Stones, that is also called healing. So this card usually shows up after, physical or emotional sickness or after some kind of injury. And it's basically, something that maybe for a while we were taking the inner rest and that basically maybe we need rejuvenation at this stage, right? So this is one of the deeper stages of healing and recovery after anything that could have been emotional trauma or physical injury or even forgiveness, right? So how do you heal it? You actually do also apply forgiveness as a healing. So if the healing is, for example, from a relationship issue, we often hold onto this pain, especially if you're a woman. Sometimes it takes us years to unwrap ourselves and kind of like unfold all of these layers. But we do that because mistakenly we are believing that it keeps us close to the source of the pain, right? So sometimes we hang onto a sense of loss, loneliness, and betrayal because that identify us, that identify our sense of justice, and we really don't want to release it until we are feeling that somebody can hear us, can understand us, right? So, yes, if you have acted with integrity and sincerity, there is absolutely no need for regret. It's kind of like waste of energy. And if regret is present, more work may be required to understand the underlying causes, right? So one of the elements that are is inherent in bringing healing and closure to any situation is acceptance along with self-forgiveness. And you're doing that to simply just heal yourself. Like just give yourself a big hug and just pretend that you're hugging you in that situation, and just say, I understand, I hear you. So that way you don't have to wait for somebody else's justification, right? The acceptance of those simple truths and just being like eye to eye with yourself can bring forward a healing to the suffering soul. And then we are getting the strength because you are moving forward from that realization that something is holding you back into like this, almost like somebody encroaching on the territory, right? So we can see here that the devil kind of like looms up before the empress and her lion, right? So, this is your shadow self, right? This is kind of like telling us about, look at the light. Look at the light. Here is bright sunshine, and here is merely muted because he has covered that light now and she cannot see it. But she and her lion don't even bother to stand up. So the devil can threaten, but he cannot destroy what he refuses to be destroyed, right? So guys, face your shadow self. That's all there is in this card, right? This is kind of like talking about your ideas, about your power, and it's the major arcana, so it is dominating this reading, right? So you need to claim it. You need to claim, all the stuff that actually come to you, right? You need to also release all kind of like chains and bondage to anyone who basically had power over you in the past. You don't have to repeat that pattern, and abuse doesn't always foster more abuse. You need to confirm and confront your demons. And it looks like we will do exactly that. So Monday could be kind of a day that we sweat through, that we do different things. But with coming with a King of Cups, there's like somebody who is providing us a really soft place to fall, right? It could be that some of you have been possibly alone or even lonely and without engagement of the other person, and maybe some of you didn't even look for it. But this day gives a really big possibility of meeting a man full of love, somebody who has something to give, not somebody who's jaded, who has the bucket list, who's just looking for really, really quick thrills, right? So it's also somebody maybe who is seeking for a partner, and he will allow you to make your dreams of love come true. So by releasing this, it's almost like, let's say you have, if you leave a half full glass of water, like after a few days, it's going to create completely new culture inside, right? And after a few more days, it's going to be yucky and etc. So you really need to remove that. You need to wash that glass in order to refill it. And that's exactly what is happening here. And it's also understanding, like, you know what? I am now stronger. I am not the same person. I can do things differently. And this is like something that is going to be very, very attractive, believe it or not. So you have a good combination of strength and vulnerability, and that is irresistible. So I want to hear all about it. What guys did you do? Who was the special one? And until tomorrow, you know that I love you. All the best.